Greetings, everyone. Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau here. For the next number of episodes of America's Greatest Personalities, we're going to dedicate those to TV game show hosts. And speaking of dedication, our focus on most of our other episodic shows here on Live Life Well TV for the next number of weeks will all have to do with I think, under-recognized, underserved, under-acknowledged facet of the entertainment industry in America known as the American TV game show. So America's Greatest Personalities will focus on a different game show host every episode for the next number of episodes. And boy, we're kicking things off in the right direction with today's game show host, the one and only Allen Ludden. Stay tuned. So we would like to acknowledge Wikipedia.com, and we would like to kick things off with some things that the one and only Betty White mostly recently said about the one and only Allen Ludden. And you probably know the connection there, but to Oprah Winfrey, Betty White recently said, "I spent a whole year, wasted a whole year that Allen and I could have had together, saying, no, I would not marry him. No, I won't. No, I won't leave California. No, I won't move to New York. I wasted a whole year we could have had together, but we made it. We finally did." To Joy Behar, Betty once said this when Joy asked Betty to choose one decision that Betty would happily make again. Without skipping a beat, Betty responded, "Marry Allen Ludden." No two ways about that. He was something special. And finally, to Anderson Cooper in 2011, Betty said this, "I had the love of my life. If you've had the best, who needs the rest?" Alan Packard Ellsworth was born on October 5th, 1917 in Mineral Point, Wisconsin, the first child of Elmer Ellsworth and his wife, Layla M. Allen. Ellsworth was a Nebraska native who worked as an ice dealer, while Allen was a Wisconsin native and housewife. Elmer Ellsworth unfortunately died the next winter on January 9th, 1919 at age 26, an unfortunate victim of the Spanish flu. When Ludden was about 5 years old, his mother married Homer Ludden Jr., an electrical engineer. Homer Ludden was the son of Chicago native H.D. Ludden, the town physician who had practiced in Mineral Point since 1906. Allen was given his adoptive father's name and became Allen Ellsworth Ludden. So there you have it. The family lived briefly in Wisconsin and the cities in Wisconsin of Janesville, Elkhorn, Antigo, and Waupaca before moving to Texas, where Ludden was 9 years of age when they got there. An English and dramatics major at the University of Texas, now known as the University of Texas at Austin, Ludden graduated with Phi Beta Kappa honors in 1940. Actually, that doesn't surprise me. And received his Master of Arts in English from the same university in 1941. He served in the United States Army as an officer in charge of entertainment in the Pacific Theater, received a Bronze Star Medal, and was discharged with the rank of captain in 1946. During the late 1940s and early 1950s, he carved out a career as an advisor for youth in teen magazine columns, as well as on the radio. His radio show for teenagers, which was called Mind Your Manners, we could probably use that today, received an honorable mention Peabody Award in 1950. Ludden hosted many game shows, including the College Bowl, but of course he was most well known for hosting both the daytime and prime time versions of Password on CBS and ABC between 1961 and 1975. His opening catchphrase, "Hi, doll," was directed toward his beloved real-life mother-in-law, Tess White, mother of Betty White. Ludden began hosting an updated version of the game, Password Plus, on NBC in 1979, but unfortunately, chemotherapy treatments for stomach cancer forced him off the show in late October of 1980. Other shows hosted by Ludden include Liars Club, Win with the Stars, and Stumpers. He also hosted the original pilot for The Joker's Wild and also hosted a variety talk show called Allen Ludden's Gallery. At the request of the publishers Dodd, Mead, and Company, Ludden wrote and published 4 books of plain talk advice, plus a youth novel, Roger Thomas, all for young readers. He received the 1961 Horatio Alger Award. He released an album called Allen Ludden Sings His Favorite Songs on RCA Records in 1964. And personally, he married Margaret McLoyne on October 11th, 1943. Unfortunately, she passed of cancer on October 30th, 1961. They had a son, David, and 2 daughters, Martha and Sarah. He proposed twice to Betty White, whom he had met on Password, at least twice before she accepted. There are stories that he wore the ring on a little chain around his neck until she would finally say yes. Their romance blossomed when they played summer stock theater together in the play Critics' Choice in 1962. They also appeared together in the romantic comedy Janice in 1963. They were married on June 14th, 1963, and as you probably know, remained together until Allen's passing. They appeared together in an episode of The Odd Couple, in which Felix and Oscar appeared on Password, and also as a couple on a season 4 episode of The Love Boat. After Ludden was diagnosed with stomach cancer in early 1980, he took a month-long leave of absence from Password Plus for chemotherapy treatment, with Bill Cullen filling in as host. On October 7th, 1980, he slipped into a coma while on vacation in Monterey, California. It was initially reported that he had suffered a stroke, but the coma was actually caused by high levels of calcium from medication taken to help fight his cancer. Tom Kennedy assumed duties as host of Password Plus, and although Ludden hoped to return to the show, his cancer unfortunately grew worse, and he never returned. The great Allen Ludden, who Betty White to this day says was a truly incredible person on camera and more so even off camera, He passed in Los Angeles on June 9th, 1981, at the age of 63. Ludden was buried beside his father in the Ellsworth family plot in Graceland Cemetery in his hometown of Mineral Point, Wisconsin. A walkway at the Los Angeles Zoo was named in his memory. Betty White is a board member of the zoo, and an artificial lake in Mineral Point was named Ludden Lake in Allen's honor. Betty White also donated a Labrador retriever named Ludden to Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, California, in memory of her late husband. Ludden's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is located on the north side of the 6700 block of Hollywood Boulevard, right next to Betty White's star. White accepted Ludden's posthumously awarded star on April 19th, 1987, during an appearance on This Is Your Life. The star was formally unveiled in a ceremony on March 31st, 1998. About Betty and Allen, it was just a true soulmate type of a union, something very rare in Hollywood. And if he had survived, there is no doubt that they would still be together. It's a tragedy, really, but Betty seems to be doing the best that she can. But what an incredible guy Allen Ludden was. He didn't even have to open his mouth, but when you saw him on the screen, he was always smiling with such great positive energy. And to me, that really was the great Allen Ludden. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next episode when we dedicate it to another game show host. Until then, see you soon. Stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you.